Jai Hind and Namaste friends, you are all welcome in Namaste classes. Today we will discuss about second chapter of class 12, which is inverse trigonometric function. In this chapter before we have already read the graph of sine and its inverse. So today we will read further upcoming graphs of this chapter. Now let's start. The graph of cos. So first is we draw x-axis and y-axis. This is x-axis which is horizontal and this is y-axis. So this is positive x, this is negative x, this is positive y, this is negative y, and this is an origin point which is 0, and now we consider some points on x-axis which are pi by 2, pi, 3 pi by 2, 2 pi and 5 pi by 2. As similarly on negative x-axis minus pi by 2, minus pi, minus 3 pi by 2, minus 2 pi and minus 5 pi by 2. And also we considered positive 1 on positive y-axis and negative 1 on negative y-axis. And this is limit you can consider of cos x, because the value of cos x is lie between closed interval -1 to +1 closed interval. That is cos x is greater than or equal than -1 and less than or equal than +1. So we know that cos 0 is 1. So you can see that the graph of cos 0 is 1. So the graph of cos x will be start from 1 and started, and first it downwards towards x-axis and cut on pi by 2 and will pass in front of pi and cut 3 pi by 2 and will pass in front of 2 pi and cut on 5 pi by 2 and as so as. Similarly on negative y-axis, so it cut on pi by 2 and will pass in front of minus pi, cut minus 3 pi by 2 and will pass in front of minus 2 pi and cut on minus 5 pi by 2 and as so as. Now you can see that the graph of cos x cut pi by 2, 3 pi by 2, 5 pi by 2, minus pi by 2, minus 3 pi by 2 and minus pi by 2. Because the graph of cos x the value of cos x is 0 on pi by 2 and its odd multiple. So it cut on x-axis where it is 0, and it is 0 on pi by 2, 3 pi by 2 and 5 by 2. It means odd multiple of pi by 2, and will be passed in front of pi, 2 pi, minus 2 pi, minus 3 pi, minus 4 pi, minus 5 pi. That is there is the value of cos x is 1 or minus 1. You can see that the cos pi is -1 because it touch here, and cos 2 pi is +1, it touch, and minus pi -1, and cos minus 2 pi is +1. So it is the graph of cos x. I hope you can understand this graph, and now we see its domain and range. So domain, what is domain? The value which lie on x-axis, that is domain. So pi by 2 pi, 3 pi by 2, 2 pi, 5 by 2, 5 pi by 2. So we know that the group of numbers, the group of all numbers is real number. So it will be including real number, and its domain is R. What is range? So I have already told you the limit of cos x is -1 to +1. That is, the value of cos x is greater than or equal than -1 and less than or equal than +1. So it is range is closed interval -1 to +1. And and you can see that domain is real number that is lie on x-axis, and range is -1 to +1 closed interval which is lie on y-axis. Now we start the graph of cos inverse x. The graph of cos inverse x is just opposite of cos x. It means points which we considered on x-axis will be same on y-axis, and the point which we considered on y-axis will be same on x-axis. So now we start the graph of cos inverse x. First we draw axis, which is x and y. This is x, this is negative x, positive y and negative y, and this is an origin point. You should remember that I have already told you which points lie on x-axis that moves on y, and which point lie on y-axis that moves on x. So we considered pi by 2, pi by 2, pi 2 pi, 3 pi by 2, 2 pi and 5 pi by 2 as on y-axis, and it here it will be moved on y-axis. So now we considered pi by 2, pi, 3 pi by 2 and 2 pi as similarly on negative x-axis, negative y-axis, minus pi by 2, minus pi, minus 3 pi by 2 and minus 2 pi. And which point lie on y-axis? Y-axis they will be move on x and negative x. So there is positive one and there is negative one. This is an limit, because we know that the value of cos x or cos inverse x is lie between -1 or +1. So we know that the value of cos 0 is 1, and cos inverse 0 also is 1. So the graph of cos inverse x is started from 1, and it will be moved on it will be cut on pi by 2 at on y-axis, and will be passed in front of pi and cut on 3 pi by 2, and it will be moved on as similarly on negative y-axis, it will be cut on pi by 2, and it will be goes in front of minus pi and cut minus 3 pi by 2, and it will be moved on. It will be moved. Sorry, here you will give your attention. The graph of cos inverse x is touch the limit. Again, first we draw graphs x-axis and y-axis. So we considered some points on y-axis and x-axis which are pi by 2, pi, 3 pi by 2, 2 pi and 5 pi by 2, then 3 pi, then 4 pi by 2. So 7 pi by 2, and similarly on negative y-axis. Okay, and we know that the value of cos inverse 0 is 1. So its graph started from positive 1, and it will be cut on pi by 2, and it's odd multiple, because the value of cos inverse x is 0 from in pi by 2, and it's odd multiple. So this is the graph of cos inverse x. Now we see its domain and its range. Remember that I have already told you in the previous class that is the range of trigonometric function is the domain of inverse trigonometric function. So we know that the range of cos x is a trigonometric function. So its range is minus close interval -1 to +1, and it will become domain of cos inverse x -1 to +1, because in the previous graph I have already told you the which points lie on x-axis, they are domains. So you can see that positive and negative one lie on the x-axis, so it is the domain. And what is the range? So range lie on y-axis. So you can you will remember that the value of the range of cos inverse x is 0 to pi, close interval 0 to pi. This is range. So you can see that what is domain, which lie on what is domain. The domain is lie on x-axis. What is range is lie on y-axis. So I hope you will understand these graphs. If you will understand these graphs, please like this video and subscribe our channel for further upcoming updates. Jai Hind. Thank you.